be reading a poem called The Peace of Wild Things by Wendell-Berry. And I chose this poem because it's always been one of my favorites and I can really relate to the theme on a deep level, which is finding peace in nature. The author starts out by talking about how he is scared for the future of the earth, but then how he finds comfort in the wild things. When despair grows in me, and I wake in the night at the least sound, in fear of what my life and my children's lives may be, I go and lie down where the wood drake rests in his beauty on the water, and the great heron feeds. I come into the peace of wild things, who do not tax their lives with forethought of grief. I come into the presence of still water, and I feel above me the day-blind stars waiting for their light. For a time, I rest in the grace of the world and am free. As a wildlife conservation major and an environmentalist at heart, the natural world is my passion. I spend most of my free time outdoors, and I also feel most at peace among the wild things. I often feel as if I have a spiritual connection with the wilderness. I like how he says in the first few lines that he fears for his own life and his children's lives. One reason that I got into conservation is because I want to make this world a better place for future generations as well, so I can really identify with that part of the poem. In the next few lines, the author talks about specific examples of wild things. He refers to a drake, which is a male duck, and he also refers to a great heron. Herons are these wading birds that catch fish along the river, and they're very graceful and elegant creatures. So when I think of this scene, it's a very peaceful, relaxing scene by still water. And I think that the author uses imagery a lot in this poem to really get his point across. In the next few lines, the author talks about how animals do not worry themselves with forethought of the future. And I really like these lines because they just remind me that animals don't worry about the future. They just take one day at a time, and I think that's something that we can really learn from them. I try to live by that, just do as much as I can every day to make a difference in this world and not spend time worrying about what will happen in the future. The last few lines confused me the first time I read them, especially when he talks about the day-blind stars. But then as I read it more and more, I began to realize that he's saying that he feels the stars, that it's day so he can't see them, but he's so connected with nature that he can just feel their presence. And I think that's really cool. Then he talks about how the stars are waiting for their light, and again, this just references the patience of nature. I really like the last line of this poem. It says, "For a time, I rest in the grace of the world and am free." And I think that's so true. Nature just gives us this freedom, and I think that if people took time to go out in nature more, then this world would be a better place.